Welcome to another nuclear revenge post. This is episode 2. If you enjoyed the video, can you please hit the like button and subscribe for future daily Reddit content. So I've never told this story as it mildly disturbs me, but I think it would be interesting for this subreddit. This may be long or short, but get ready for a read. So I started my school on a strange note. I had been bullied in my previous schools, but not with violence and not in many ways that would hinder my mental health. But it was a very large inconvenience. When I went to this new school, I wanted things to change. I wanted to be popular. For some odd reason, I went from being this chubby little kid to a skinny, fairly handsome kid who many people knew. However, I was easy to talk to, but not easy to get along. So I had to change my whole personality to be popular and to be liked by the majority. Through being a teenager, I become a little bit of a psychopath and become a mild bully, which I regret to this day. And I've apologized to a lot of the people, and they said that it wasn't actually me and it was more my friend group. Which leads me to my friend group. It consisted of the popular kids and I liked to hang out with them. I kept up this happy, enthusiastic, lovable facade that no one saw through. Until I met this one kid. Let's call him L. L was like me. The only way I could describe him was like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. And from the start, I loved him, but El had a harsh past and didn't know how to treat a lot of people and wanted to inflict this darkness into other people. El was very clever, arguably a genius. He knew how to get into people's heads, and that's exactly what he did. He quickly became one of my closest friends, and with one other person, I introduced them to the popular crowd. Due to them being much like me, they were instantly accepted. But El started to gain popularity fast and lots of friends, but for some reason, I was always the closest to him. Little did I know that he liked to follow the phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. He had a horrible past which really messed him up, and he wanted to share this and put it into my head. He started to manipulate me to do the things that I didn't want to do and to get new information out of me, such as the girls I liked and sensitive questions about my sexuality. We were young and naive, so it could have really been anything. And he would instantly spread them about a group. I would look past this because he was popular, but the more he got into my head, the more I would tell him and the more he would spread. It got to a point where these friends that I had made started to dislike me and bully me again because of what El had said. He took my words and made them worse. When I confronted him about this, he had this strange way of making it seem like it was my fault, and I actually started to believe him. I looked up to him more and more. Around this time, I had started making another group of friends. I had to because I became so depressed and I didn't know why. I needed more people to vent to replace these other people that I had thought had ditched me because, well, I'm a bad person. But little did I know it was El, and because I was dumb, I introduced him to these people. Now El saw these people as new people he could either spread my things to or people to prey on, and he chose number one. He would spread things about me and he would just start to lie about me. These new friends started to believe him, and this is where I saw how manipulative El actually was. But it didn't stop me from doing the things which he wanted me to do, which started to get worse. He started to make me do things to him and started to make me do increasingly illegal things which I really didn't want to do. It came to a point where I started to have panic attacks and breakdown due to having mild PTSD from the things which he manipulated me into doing, which I hope one day I'll be strong enough to talk about. Anyway, through these friends, I met this boy, let's call him Kira. Now, Kira was chill, he was cool, but he was also a druggie. And obviously, I introduced El to Kira. They began becoming close, and Kira started to give El drugs, and he got super into them. He started to take loads. Where I live has a massive drug problem, yet for some reason, we are very against drugs, and so when I saw him doing this, everything hit me. Introducing him to these drugs was the best thing I could have done. Everything he done, getting me into trouble, steering my friends away from me, getting a lot of the school against me through lies. I was sick of his shenanigans, so I invited him to mine for the last time. Now, I have been putting up a facade for a long time, so I was used to this, and it was very easy to seem like he was my friend. El came over and the usual began. He started to get into my head and made me feel sad, hurled abuse at me, and made me do things that I didn't want to do. But now I realized he was doing it, I fought through it. El at one point went to the bathroom and left his phone in my room, which I knew the password to since I had seen him do it a million times. I entered it and dived through his messages. I hit the jackpot. countless drug deals and nude photos. He had a small penis and several pictures of drugs, and so I screenshotted it all and sent it to my phone. I emailed a couple of these pictures to the popular crowd around the school who I knew shared everything. I also sent a few of the drug screenshots to the police who had a fair amount of evidence to do stuff to him. Regarding legal things, I don't know exactly what happened, but as soon as he went back to school, almost everyone knew him and his small penis. He was ridiculed and bullied and had the exact same thing done to him that he had previously done to me. L had messed up, but he had something to fall back on. That was drugs. Now, this story would have been a pro-revenge if I left it here, but this is where it gets nuclear. Because of this, he got super hard into drugs and that took up his time. He isolated himself and stopped coming into school. He did these drugs more and more often and got in trouble with the police, and his parents started to see how much of a jerk he really was. They essentially disowned him as a son at this point, and that was the last straw for him. The last thing I heard that he overdosed and went slightly insane and moved away from here to find help, which I doubt he'd ever get. His life was completely messed up. Now people started to suspect that this was my doing, and so I got bullied a little for it by his friends, but it was worth it to never have to see him again. So I've got 3 things to tell you quickly. 1, I have to apologise for this video only having 1 story in it. 2, tomorrow I'm going to have a video with 3 nuclear revenge stories in it. And finally 3,